Good day and nice to meet you all. Let me please first introduce our team. So my name is Dr. Fetra Khmaisea and I'm a medical doctor from Tunisia. My colleague is Dr. Smaile Moritella and he is from South Africa and we are both in the negative team. So today we are going to discuss should genetic information be used in hiring in African countries. So let's start with this short statement by Dr. Rothstein in 1992. So genes provide the blueprint for the human biological component of a human individuality. Biologically speaking, genes determine the unique characteristics of every human being and make Homo sapiens a heterogeneous and variegated species. So the advent of genetic testing and the increasing availability of genetic information have raised questions about its use, in various sectors, including employment. While genetic information can provide insights into an individual's predisposition to certain health conditions, its use in employment decisions poses significant risks. So we are going to explore the reasons why genetic information should not be used in hiring and employment decisions in African countries, focusing on ethical considerations, potential for discrimination, legal frameworks, and the impact on social and social cohesion and economics. Let's start with our constructive arguments. First, ethical concerns and discriminations, such as violation of privacy. Genetic information can invade personal privacy, revealing sensitive details about an individual's health and traits. Genetic discrimination. There is a risk of genetic discrimination where individuals could be unfairly judged or denied jobs based on their genetic predisposition rather than their skills or qualifications. For example, individuals with genetic predisposition to certain conditions may be unfairly excluded from job opportunities, even if they are asymptomatic and fully capable of performing the required tasks. Let's move to the legal and human rights impact, such as the lack of regulations. Many African countries may not have clear laws protecting individuals from genetic discrimination, leading to potential misuse. Human rights using genetic information can conflict with human rights principles, such as the right to privacy and non-discrimination. We can move also to the social impact, such as stigmatizations and impact on diversity. Inaccuracies and misinterpretation of genetic data can lead to unreliable predictors and overemphasis on genetics. Potential for abuse and exploitation, such as the exploitation by employers, the lack of regulation due to the lack of the regulation and safeguards. We can state here the example of South Africa, where people with genetic trait for sickle cell anemia, which is more common among individuals for African descent, faced employment discrimination. When certain companies started screening for this trait, applicants who tested positive were often denied jobs due to the potential for future health issues, even though they were currently healthy and capable of performing the job. So this practice disproportionality affected Black South Africans, exacerbating existing racial and economic inequalities and lead to increased unemployment and stigmatization with this community. Fourth, we are going to move to the economic consideration and impacts. starting with the cost of implementation. Gathering and analyzing genetic information can be expensive, which might be a financial burden for many businesses, especially small and medium-sized companies. Second, the long-term impact. The long-term economic impact of using genetic information might include increased legal challenges and potential lawsuits. We can state here the example of the United States, where the cost of implementing genetic testing in the workplace became a significant burden for some companies. Small and medium-sized enterprises faced financial strain due to the high costs associated with the genetic screening, including testing fees, data analysis, and legal compliance. Over time, some companies faced legal challenges and lawsuits from employees who claimed discrimination based on their genetic information, leading to further financial liabilities and reputational damage. Let's move now to the legal and regulatory challenge of this practice. So most African countries lack specific legislation that addresses the use of genetic information in employment. In countries where such laws exist, enforcement mechanisms are often weak and public awareness is limited. This creates a regulatory vacuum where employers could misuse genetic information without facing significant consequences. The absence of legal protections also raises concerns about consent and confidentiality. Employees may not be fully informed about their genetic information will be used, stored, or shared. This lack of transparency can lead to abuses of power and violations of individual rights. So let's move now to the cultural sensitivity and differences impact, where in some African countries, genetic testing and its implications might be viewed with suspicion, discomfort, affecting how such practices are received and implemented. So let's conclude. The use of genetic information in hiring and employment decisions poses significant ethical, legal, and social challenges, particularly in the context of African countries. It is imperative that genetic information is not used as a criterion for employment decisions. Instead, African countries should focus on skills and experience, emphasizing skills, experience, and qualifications rather than genetic information can promote fairer and more effective hiring practices. Second, health and safety protocols, where implementing general health and safety measures rather than using genetic data can address workplace safety without intruding on personal privacy. So, thank you for your attention.